Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's Montez McCamish. You are now watching the Meade County Local and an extension of that, Hardin County Local. We're in Radcliff, Kentucky today, and I've got this interview for you. And before we go into it, I'm going to just let you know that this interview, it could go lots of different ways here, from catering to leadership to counseling to history to it's really could be profound. But I'm going to ask some questions to her, and you can ask questions in the comment box. She'll do her best to respond to them on Facebook if she has time because she's very, very busy. Without further ado, please tell the ladies and gentlemen your name and what it is you do.
Aundra Jackson. I am the owner and CEO of Ms.Aundra's Catering and Bakery here in Radcliff, Kentucky.
What was growing up like for you?
Well, I'm a native of Alabama, Evergreen, Alabama. Growing up for me in the South was a lot different than what the growing up in the South is about now. But we started out as kids and learning the responsibilities that our parents taught us to be good stewards at home, and always that church that begins at home and it's praise ball. So that's my most humbling way I could say it, where I started it as a child. School was good. I was in segregation, of course, because I'm born in 1957. And we was not segregated until I went to middle school. So elementary school was all black school, and very, 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 very important, because the teachers there was about teaching us our history, what we're not seeing in the schools today. So because we had the history of knowing who Martin Luther King was, and upon his deathbed in elementary school, oh my God, you would think that everybody dead had been sent to war and they all was killed, because that was a big thing when Martin Luther King had died, and they sent the news to the school, and the teacher was crying, and we were wondering why they was crying, because we were still young, didn't have the real understanding, why they was crying, because Martin Luther King had been assassinated. But then we learned. So therefore that's very profound for us now, because the things that he said then, we are able to walk in those things. My kids are able to enjoy the life that they're enjoying now. Because he said one day our little kids will walk hand in hand with those blacks and whites and everybody else. So therefore, they have the opportunity today to be able to be I guess I would say, a protocol of Martin Luther King and what he stood for, and what he saw in the midst of saying that I could see in the mountaintop where we one day would be. We have not achieved, we have not got there, but we're achieving, and we're still striving to become who God wants us to be.
I wanted to ask you about cooking and catering. What brought that to you?
Well, I share with my granddaughter that's 7 years old. At 7, I knew how to cut up collard greens. That was a responsibility in the South, that you have cooked, you have washed. We did a lot of things. So I began cooking as very young, 8 years old. We used to have a little little small, I can't even think, easy bake. And so therefore, we used to make our own little cakes, put them in a little pan, put it in a little oven, and that's how we began cooking. So then we began to cook cakes, we began to cook, like I said, collard greens, or whatever Mom had, we was doing what she had given us to do.
How many brothers and sisters did you have?
I have a total.
Yes.
I grew up, 6 of us grew up together, but it's a total of 12.
Oh, wow.
So therefore, I have brothers in California, a sister in California, I have a sister in South Carolina, Alabama, brothers in Alabama, brothers in California. So we are a knitted family, and so my kids, even though they're military brats, as they would say, they have a value of family, because we have taught them that family always sticks together.
They say food is something that you just can't really forget. There's that special dish, that one dish. What's one thing that stuck out for you? What's one dish that just sticks out for you?
I think I'm good at all my cooking. I because everybody has something different that they like. So my specialty, I would say, for desserts are red velvet cakes. For meat would be fried chicken, because everybody seems to want fried chicken. A lot of people want collard greens, but I was just like, if y'all got 50 or more and I have to do a case of greens, I'm gonna have to charge more because it's a lot of work. But macaroni and cheese, potato salad, it's just so many specialties that different people want me to cook for them. Someone told me, can I place an order for some cabbages? I said, when you need them? They said Wednesday. I'm gonna cook it today because I'll be gone on Wednesday. So therefore, it's just different things that people like. So everything is just, I don't know. You have talked to Alicia, she could be a witness.
Mm-hmm.
She think my chicken spaghetti is the best for her. She think that my spaghetti is good for her. She loves to eat, so therefore everything good for Alicia.
What is your favorite holiday to cook for? Like if you could pick just one, what would it be?
I would say Thanksgiving.
Why?
Because that seemed like the time that all of my kids could come home. Because 3 of them being married, they have to take time with the other family, and I share that with them. It was very good for me and their dad because we're both from Alabama and we live like 20 miles apart. So we could do the morning at my mom, the evening at his mom, but they got a spread. My daughter, we live here in Kentucky. Her husband, people's in Indianapolis. My oldest daughter, she lives in Georgia. His people lives in Virginia. So you got to space it out. So we try to let Thanksgiving be the conclusiveness that we all come together. So Thanksgiving would be the most.
They say food brings people together, just like you said, Thanksgiving brings people together. So like serving and catering, I'd like to know, like, what kind of people have you catered? Like, what are some people you just, oh wow, like you said, the church. That must have been a blessing getting that out of the catering. Like, tell us some more of people that you've catered or some experiences maybe.
Okay, even this week, well, last week, Tuesday, I catered for the Radcliff Small Business here at Carbon Community Center. That was really good because the Lieutenant Governor was their guest speaker. So it was just awesome for me. I was like, I'm gonna give them something free. So I said, I'm gonna make a punch bowl cake because we have the honor to have the Lieutenant Governor to be the guest speaker. So we want to make sure that she have a good meal when she comes. So the Radcliff Small Business has been a blessing, and that was my second time catering for them. And they said everybody loved the food. They had meatloaf, mashed potatoes and gravy, green beans, tossed salad, rolls, cornbread. So that was great for them. So that was one. And then on Thursday, which I do every Thursday for the Rotaries of Radcliff, I do whatever I want to do for them. And sometimes I ask them, what do you think you would like to have next week? Everybody loves, I have one that loves pork chop. I have one, many of them that love fried chicken. I have one that loves spaghetti. So I try to mix it up each week because I'm coming every Thursday. So they have been really a blessing to me. And then Saturday, we had Shining the Light of Military Women's. That was a huge one. So therefore, they wanted collard greens, they wanted fried chicken, they wanted roast beef, mashed potatoes and gravy, green beans. So we had everything. We had red velvet cake, punch bowl cake, sweet tea, water. They enjoyed. Everybody enjoyed. That just gives joy to my heart that when they enjoy the food, I have succeeded.
Yeah, I can see it just bleeding through my screen. Ladies and gentlemen, I know y'all can see it on the screen. This woman loves to cook. Shows you love to cook. If you don't believe it, you can see it. You can see it. Yeah.
I do love to cook.
Yeah. So I was gonna ask you, when it comes to cooking and you're cooking the food, is there something that you whenever, like maybe when you're done with the cooking, do you eat or do you taste of it? How do you know when it's done? Like, I mean, sure, temperature is set this long. Do you eat of it while you cook or no?
I taste to make sure the seasoning is just right. Mm-hmm. I make sure I taste. So therefore, and then afterwards, after everyone eat, course I want me a plate. And I already did taste, I'm like, oh my God, they had no more roast beef left. I gotta make that for my family now. So, you know, I love cooking.
Let's just say there is someone out there that's younger and they're wanting to get involved in the food industry or even just catering or just even in anything at all. Pursuing their goal, going up and going after and doing it. Doing is usually the hardest part. Could you please talk to these people, maybe give them a spill of like maybe how doing it, like, can you talk to them please?
Well, I have to first tell them they gotta love cooking. And you say young people? Oh, I need to meet them. For most young people don't like to cook. I'm serious about that. Most young people don't like to cook. But if that's a desire, and they might just be a cake designer. And so if they want to get involved with that, you have to say you gotta take one step.
At a time.
Then you gotta take the second step. Then you gotta take a third, fourth step.
Yeah.
And then you go where you gotta go, starting, like I said, with the health department, because they're gonna want you to have that clearance. So you can call any health department and tell them you wanna go through the training for food services.
Now, is there any kind of thing out there that you might want to tell ladies and gentlemen that they may not know about you that we may not have talked about in your business? Is there something that you might want to tell the ladies and gentlemen?
I would tell them, well, I guess one thing I would say, first I would think that you need to have God ahead of everything that you do. And then if you have God ahead of what you do, then God will lead you through what you want to accomplish. And you can succeed. Because you're going to trust Him in all your ways, acknowledge Him, and He'll direct the path. So therefore, if you trust Him, I believe that's where we got to start at. Because I always say, God, I trust you. So wherever you have for me to go, it's mine. And I just believe that totally. And that's what I've taught my kids, that whatever your desire, the sky's the limit. As we used to hear all the time in Alabama. There's nothing you can't do if you put your heart, your mind, and your soul into it. But you gotta enjoy what you're doing.
That's so true. All right, look, I'm gonna leave us on one last thing, but this is kind of a little bit different here. Ladies and gentlemen, if y'all have watched, y'all already know how we get down. I just wanna leave by letting you ask the community, the Meade Countyans, the Meade County locals, the Hardin County locals, and hopefully soon the Radcliff locals, a question. Ask them a question on the camera so they can answer it for you. What question might you have? Any question at all?
A question that I might have, what is your goal in life? What mark would you like to leave when you're gone? And your name is there. What can they say about you and what you've accomplished?
Powerful, powerful stuff. I appreciate you so much for being on. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you've enjoyed this interview. And again, if you all would like to get in contact and would like to get catering, tell them how they can do so.
You can call me at 270-317-3827. And you can leave a message and let me know you're interested in catering. It is Ms.Aundra Catering and Bakery, Radcliff, Kentucky.
This film was created by itsmontez.com. Get yourself a real content creator. Duh.